Your wellness routine is stupid and making you lonely. We're in the studio, it's 4:59 p.m. My assistant just brought me my banana peel and Saratoga sparkling water. I've done 1,000,000 push-ups and gone to the gym 7 times. I woke up at 3:49 a.m. and I'm ready to do this fucking video. Okay, if I'm being honest, I woke up quite a bit later than 4 a.m., spent 2 hours scrolling on my phone, had soda for breakfast, and the only reason I didn't get McDonald's is because breakfast was over by the time I was leaving. But that's been keeping me trim. Welcome to Tyler's Kitchen, the world's first anti-cooking show where I talk about my special interests, which include but are not limited to feminism, history, pop culture, and random shit I see on the internet with a few more jokes than is necessary and/or appropriate. I'm not much of a Pepsi girl. Unless y'all pay me to say I am, then I am, hell yeah. You know how everybody's obsessed with the falling in love part of relationships? Oh my god, he liked my Instagram story, so now I'm gonna name my second child after him and we're gonna have a beautiful life together. Yeah, that part's really fun. I love that for me. But what about the staying in love part? If you're like me and you struggle to ask intimate questions without feeling like you're sitting down in an HR interview, then I have found the solution. I present to you the Paired app. This is the coolest relationship app that gives you daily conversation starters, expert advice that doesn't sound like a TED Talk, and games that are very revealing in a good way. And you don't even have to be in the same room to use it. I just think it's the cutest way to set aside a little bit of time for your partner each day in a very low pressure environment. Also, can we talk about the timeline feature? I thought this was so cute. It's basically like your relationship scrapbook, but without glitter glue and scissors. It's such a fun way to celebrate little milestones and savor every memory with your partner. And at a time where loneliness is so prevalent, this is a wellness trend I can get behind. So please check out the link in my description to get a 7-day trial and 25% off Paired Premium. You literally have nothing to lose except for unresolved tension and the awkward, what do we talk about dinner silences. Get out there and connect with your person, but like in a fun way, in a cool way. Thank you to the Paired app. I've noticed there's kind of an eerie link between the rise of wellness culture and the rise of loneliness. Could the rise of wellness culture be linked to Gen Z's loneliness epidemic? Let's talk about it. It's no secret that Gen Z is obsessed with wellness. According to Next Wave Gen Z, 60% of Gen Z prioritize a healthy life over money, career, or personal enjoyment. I mean, bold of them to assume we're getting money. This focus manifests in various behaviors such as using wellness apps and fitness trackers, with 66% relying on digital tools to monitor their health. We're checking our steps, REM cycles, and cortisol levels, but we never think to check on our friends. And we can see this through the rise of things like the Oura Ring, which valued at $5 billion, Fitbit valued at $2 billion, and Whoop bands, which are valued at $3.6 billion. Me personally, I don't think I need to be wearing more biometric tech than Elizabeth Holmes to be told that I'm anxious and dehydrated. Today we're making croissants. Place yeast in a bowl, add sugar and stir until it liquefies, add milk and set aside to cool. 2 cups bread flour. I hate when there's a recipe and they don't have the ingredients in the order you're supposed to use them. Why would you do that? Sometimes I don't follow the steps, I just look at the recipe and combine. Place yeast in a bowl. Okay, here's a bowl. Here's yeast. And if you can't make it yourself, store-bought's fine. We want 25 grams of yeast. I'm making croissants because it's like the morning routine of pastries. Add sugar and stir it until it liquefies. Okay, so 3 tablespoons of sugar. 1, 2, 3. And then I need a ½ cup lukewarm milk. I'm so confused right now, I'm so sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna warm up this milk. And if you don't have fresh, artisanal raw milk from the teat of the nearest by goat, store-bought's fine too. Baking tip, Bender baddies. If you get your milk too warm, it will kill the yeast and fuck up your recipe. I'm gonna mix all of this together and then set it aside. Okay, so I'm waiting for the yeast to kind of dissolve. Baking tip, always be scraping the sides. I dated a guy who got a Garmin while we were together, and it honestly put so much strain on our relationship, because tell me why, he would be fine and then get a notification like, oh, you didn't get a very good sleep score last night. Instantly mood change, like, whoa, I'm feeling a little bit tired. My Garmin said I only got a 30% sleep score. Your Garmin's not gonna like your recovery score after I drop kick you. That was a little violent. I don't mean that.
The Apple Watch warriors, you look ridiculous. It ruins every outfit. You look like you're on Spy Kids. Like,
Sir, the codes are in the case, in the briefcase. The Eagle has left the landing.
if I see you wearing an Apple Watch to a wedding and you're not saving a princess or stealing jewels, I'm gonna be pissed.
Okay, I feel like we've combined the yeast pretty well, so we'll put it over here. 1 1/4 sticks, cold unsalted butter. A McKinsey report revealed that 56% of US Gen Z consumers consider fitness a very high priority. The other 44% were too busy making Mel Robbins edits to notice. But this is a whopping 16% more than the overall US consumer. Another study found that 34% of Gen Z are drinking less, which I don't know about you guys, but I felt personally victimized by my friends doing dry January. And I think it's great. I'm never gonna like shame somebody for that. I'm never gonna not support my friends on their journey. But I don't know if you guys remember what happened in January, but that was a good month for no one. All of LA was on fire. It was January, inauguration. I had to drink. So those of you who didn't, you are stronger than the US Marines.
You guys know I grew up Mormon, and then I went to college in Utah, and then I went to college during COVID, and I also only went to college for like 2 years. So I never got to experience like drinking culture and partying, and I feel like I'm kind of getting that for the first time right now, and I'm very much enjoying my first taste of freedom outside of conservative culture. I have a neighbor who's crazy, and she's known me since I moved to LA in June. She's an older woman, a former lounge singer. She's been in this town for decades, and she said that she's watched me over the course I've lived in LA get more and more wild. She said to me the other day, she said, "Tyler, I can tell that you're just very much enjoying the escape from your conservative culture, because if you saw a circus of naked junkies doing cartwheels down the street, you'd applaud them."
Ma'am, what did you just say to me?
And there was another day where I was wearing short shorts, and she came up to me and she said, "I saw your bum hanging out of all of your shorts. I mean, your legs look great, Tyler, but I just saw them out the window and it startled me. It took me aback a bit." I said, "Wow, that is a lot of bum. Good for her. She's really getting out of Utah." She really nailed it down in quite an astute way. All this to say, you're gonna really do dry January when I've been doing every January dry for my entire life? Hell no. I wanted a wet January. I'm so wet. Can you just join me? So now that I've cubed up all of my butter, I have to add in flour and salt. Kind of killing it. 2 cups bread flour. But let's also talk about how there is a piece of Gen Z is just getting responsible. I think we have more information about past generations on how important wellness is, but I also think a lot of this is just bullshit we're being sold. Especially when it's these influencer self-care routines that are like 10 steps long, and you can link all the products on your TikTok shop account and make $1 million off it. I can sell you my stupid mouth tape, my Saratoga spring water. I can sell you my peel off lip mask. I can sell you my sheet mask. I can sell you my overnight curling set. I can sell you my silk bonnet. I can sell you my silk pajama set. I can sell you my overnight tanning. I can sell you my breath strips. I can sell you my toothbrush routine. I can sell you those stupid fucking arm cuffs that people use so they don't get water on their arms when they wash their damn face. I can sell you reusable face wipes. Honestly, almost every single step of these morning shed influencer routines that Gen Z seems to be adapting pisses me the fuck off. Like, how much of a difference did your 5-hour wellness routine make in your day? And if you look at it over the course of a lifetime, if you had to spend hour after hour every single day to maintain your wellness, and it adds 2 years to your life, I think you just took it away with all the time you spent on this routine. I would genuinely rather die younger than spend every day doing lymphatic drainage. I'm so sorry. Have you ever done a dry brush? It's such a terrible experience, and there's no like immediate benefit. I'm always like, this was so fucking dumb. And they got my ass on this stupid like dry brush roller. Now I have this stupid dry brush I spent money on. Also, the peel off lip liner, I have that shit. You did not need to go to bed with that. You were just trying to make a funner video. You know that takes 2 seconds to like set on your lips? That one's a hoax.
So my question really is how much of these things work?
how much are they worth it and how much are we just like making random gooners on the internet rich, you know? Is it worth it? And obviously these routines are pushing you to sit in your apartment alone. And I know somebody's gonna clip me and be so angry about this and like own me. Odds are if you're going to bed at 7 p.m. so that you can commit to your 10-hour wellness routine, you're probably not seeing your friends that evening. I just think consider your sources for your information. Obviously that wellness night routine looks amazing when a skinny blonde woman living in a high-rise in Manhattan does it. Yeah, her apartment's sick. I would want to hang out there too. And honestly, she's probably just skinny and white because she's skinny and white. She's probably just hot because she was born that way, not because she did this 50-step nighttime routine. But now she's gonna make so much money off of you buying her stupid mouth tape. This girl's probably selling you mouth tape to fix your facial structure, but she herself has a chin implant. It's just bullshit. And these routines are so contrived and stupid, and they really are making us lonely. But there is evidence to back up what I'm saying. These wellness practices all aim to enhance health, but they inadvertently lead to reduced social interactions. Activities like going to bed early, meditating, reading, rolling your face with an ice roller are all potentially limiting to your social experiences. The World Happiness Report notes a decline in well-being among young Americans. A study highlighted by Business Insider found that young Americans are increasingly eating alone, which could negatively affect their well-being as communal meals are often associated with higher levels of social support and reduced loneliness. And truly, it is hard to have a girl's dinner when you have to bring your food scale and measure out your lean ground beef. When your wellness routine is longer than Donald Trump's rap sheet, it's gonna be hard to maintain friendships. The number of Americans who claim to have no close friends at all across all age groups now stands at around 12%, according to the Survey Center on American Life. By comparison, only 2% of Americans said they had no close friends in 2003. It's crazy that 12% of us say we have no friends when 100% of us are at least close enough to one person to get invited to sell Mary Kay. When polling exclusively American millennials pre-pandemic, 2019 YouGov poll found that 22% have zero friends and 30% have no best friends. 1 in 4 Gen Z adults confessed to never having sex, according to a 2021 Kinsey Institute and Love Honey survey quoted in story. I mean, Gen Z has our goop jade eggs shoved so far up our vaginas we can't even use them. I think Gen Z is so sad and so lonely and miserable. We're like, oh, how do we fix this? And the brands have come in and been like, just buy our shit. And the influencers have come in and been like, this is how I make 6 figures a day with Saratoga spring water. When in reality, I think our biggest issue is our inability to have a normal fucking conversation. We went to school during the pandemic, our jobs are all remote, and we sit on our phones all fucking day. It's clearly not that we don't have a long enough nighttime routine, and it's clearly the fact that we are so fucking weird and antisocial. So before you let Kourtney Kardashian sell you a Lemmy multivitamin to fix your depression, maybe make a friend. There was a study done that showed people who experience social isolation had a 32% higher risk of dying early from any cause compared to those who weren't socially isolated. Participants who reported feeling lonely were 14% more likely to die than those who did not. Another report showed that widespread loneliness in the US possesses a health risk as deadly as smoking up to 15 cigarettes daily. So I'm just saying a cheeky martini with the girls won't kill you, but being sad and lonely might. Okay, this feels like it's already kind of combining. I felt it kind of meld together in a way that was very satisfactory. This is curing my mental health. Am I trad enough for y'all yet? Look at this, guys. This is kind of what they're saying it should look like. Wrap it in plastic and knead slowly to form a square and freeze for 30 minutes or refrigerate for a couple hours. So we've had our dough sitting in the freezer for a long ass time, and I just don't know how this is supposed to turn into croissants. Mistakes were made at some point. This is like cookie dough, what the hell? I also just double checked the recipe and it says I'm supposed to let this rise for 3 to 4 hours. Now, we're just gonna see what happens if you don't do that. Okay, let's go. It should come out some sort of good, right? So what I'm trying to do here is I'm just gonna fill up the square because you wanna like have a square size thing to cut the triangles into. And look at that, we've pressed it into the thing. So now I'm gonna cut out little triangles. So if wellness isn't fixing the Gen Z loneliness epidemic, why are we so obsessed with it? I mostly just think it's because companies are making a lot of fucking money off of telling us that it's the cure to all our ailments. But besides wellness culture just being one big corporate grift, I also think as a consumer, it's the new wealth indicator. I think in today's digital world, luxury goods can be duped. Something will go from the runway to DH Gate in a matter of days. Almost anybody can get lip filler these days. A luxury car can be rented. So I think Gen Z is very slyly using wellness, freedom of routine to signify wealth. There's actually a term for this called conspicuous leisure. This is a concept introduced by the American economist and sociologist Thorstein Veblen in the Theory of Leisure class, 1899. Conspicuous or visible leisure is engaged in for the sake of displaying and attaining social status. And it's been a thing throughout history. For example, the Romans had a spa obsession. They bathed for hours in massive public baths. Only the rich could afford to spend all day bathing, lounging, getting massages, and having slaves exfoliate them. Someone does, however, need to explain the human desire to pay lots of money to sit in random bodies of water. That one I've never understood. I feel like I would do so much better at being rich than rich people. So I'm just rolling these croissants. They're really chunky. I should have floured the bottom. The first one went so well, what the hell? So I have sort of a shape. Now I'm gonna cut triangles. And then I roll it, and then I just like set it down. Like really cute. I just think if I like stand here and look pretty, you guys will forget how bad I am at cooking. Like you'll forgive me for how bad it's going. That's why I keep posing. These are our beautiful croissants. I think I have to make egg wash. So I'm basically just gonna crack an egg in this bowl. Yeah, I don't have 2 to 3 hours to let this rise, bitch. This is ridiculous. I don't even have 1 hour to do it right. So I'm just mixing together milk and an egg, and I'm just gonna like cover these freaking croissants in it, I guess. I think another interesting example of this is that it's only recently become popular to be tan, and this is because Coco Chanel popularized it by getting tan on vacation. And the vibe there is like, oh my God, you're rich enough to lay there doing nothing in a tropical location? Now that's a beauty standard. I would personally say that I am also a victim of the Gen Z wellness apocalypse. The other night, my friends were going out, and I genuinely thought to myself like, wow, well, I haven't gone to the gym today. If I go to the gym, I don't know if I can make it. But ultimately I was like, Tyler Bender, are you serious? I spent the worst year of my life living in Denver, having no friends that I could relate to, no outlet, no social activities. And now for the first time like ever, I have a group of people that I adore, that I have everything in common with, that I enjoy spending time with. And I was really about to be like, no, I have the 12-3-30. I have to go sit in a stinky gym and run until I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Like, girl, what? This is why Gen Z is lonely, because that would be totally normalized. Or you know what else drives me nuts? It's the whole like, I am protecting my peace, but really you're just being a shitty friend. Yeah, my girl was going through kind of a mental breakdown, but that was too much for me to impress upon myself, and I just have to protect my peace. My therapist said that I can't. What happened to being a good friend? I cannot help you move, girl, because I've got to protect my mental health right now. This is why you don't have friends. Part of having a community is being inconvenienced. To get the benefit of having a village, you have to participate in the village. Gen Z is yearning for community and villages, but so self-centered on these stupid wellness routines, and I feel like we're overextending on the mental health, on the self-preservation side, that of course we're lonely. Nobody wants to be friends with somebody who cancels plans because they have a strict meal plan. Nobody wants to be friends with somebody who leaves at 8 p.m. because they have to get a perfect sleep score on their f***ing Oura ring. And I'm not saying that Gen Z needs to go the other way and eat McDonald's, but I am saying if you find yourself in the situation of being lonely and sad, maybe seek human connection before we seek a better skincare routine. Let's pop these bad boys in the oven, see what happens. But I do think there is a shift in the culture that people are starting to notice this. People are starting to notice that the remedy might not be 10,000 steps a day, it might be having other human interactions. And people are solving this through things like run clubs, coffee clubs. I even saw a cold plunge club, which I'm like biting my tongue so hard to not make fun of it because that is corny. And we're back. Look what I just got out of the oven. Wait a damn minute. That kind of looks like how it's supposed to. This has the wrapper from the butter that I forgot to pull off. Oh, it's really hot. Let's just try a little bit. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, but in spite of that, they're not that bad. This is a croissant. in many ways. I'm gonna like pry them off the pan, replate them, and y'all wouldn't even know what we went through to make these. All right, give me my flowers. I'm Buddy Valastro. But guys, I wanna hear from you. What are your wellness routines that actually help you? And what have you done to start feeling better? Let's talk about it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Goodbye.